I've noticed recently that touring and holding live shows today is the hardest that it's been in decades. And to make up for that, lineups have been fucking stacked. Looking at these got me so excited. It made me wonder, what is the most stacked single day event you've ever been to? That's the question of the day. We got some shit to hype up, we got some shit to talk about, and we got some time to kill. Let's fucking do it.
What you doing, son?
Nothing. Just chilling. Killing.
True.
I was just waiting until I was 18 so I could get a tribal sleeve and join Bullet for my Valentine.
Just waiting for an open guitar player spot and Bullet for My Valentine.
I was going to prove myself.
In your fantasy, someone's not even leaving Bullet for My Valentine?
No.
They just also need Jared?
They go Matt Tuck, vocals, Padge, guitar, Jared, guitar? 4 Welsh 34-year-olds.
Yeah, I was going to say...
1 American 15-year-old.
So, Wednesday was my birthday, and honestly, kind of shit. I remember being at work almost all day, well, at the mall all day. I got there mad early. Ride problems. But when I stepped in, it was raining. Literally everybody I encountered, I wanted to hurt because they were so fucking annoying. People complaining about nothing. People breaking things. Kids doing graffiti in the bathroom. Everyone I talked to that gave me some sort of attitude, I was like, bitch, I will kill you with a gun. Or at the very least, leap up and drop kick you right in the teeth, you dumb cunt. But then, the rest of the week is pretty salvageable. So, you take the go with the bed. While Wednesday sucked, and Thursday was boring as shit. My Tuesday, well, that's when we celebrated. See, my wife got home from work, I had the day off, went shopping, we picked up a fucking really good pizza, sat down, and we watched a movie. We watched the new Witchboard remake, which I was up in the air about. Wasn't sure if I was gonna like it. I remember enjoying the first one after a couple watches. Didn't like it the first time I watched it. Revisited it, and I liked it a lot more. Most of the time, though, 80s movies getting remakes doesn't normally work out too well. This one, the graphics were worse. The acting was better. The story was better. Everything that I liked in the first movie, I did not like in the second movie. And everything that I didn't like in the first movie, I like in the second movie. So, I find equal ground, despite IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, people online, and people on Letterboxd all saying the movie is fucking trash. In classic TJ fashion, I like what you think is trash. It happened with Pan. It happened with Miss Peregrine. It happened with The Dark Tower. It's gonna happen again. I like trash, apparently. Who knew? We'll get into more of the movie in a little bit, but while I had the party and the dinner and the movie on Tuesday, I also got a very special present, a first for me. I'm apparently going to an NBA game between two of my favorite teams, Boston Celtics, I'm a New England boy, and Miami Heat, my favorite team. Though we are not doing good now, still love them. And it was still a bucket list thing for me to go see a Miami Heat show. And now I can. So I'm fucking jazzed about this. And the best part about it, they're not nosebleeds. These are like the very start of the first rise of seats, which is crazy. I don't know how my wife got them. No idea. Baffles me right now that happened and I had no idea. I'm just happy it happened, and fuck it, I'm going. Making sure I mark myself off from shows, take the day off from work, all that shit. And we ballin', bro. We fucking ballin'. And then we're talking tonight. Today, Friday, album dropped this morning. The album I've been waiting like almost 3 years to put out dropped this morning. I've been working on promotion. I'm gonna work on more promotion once this is all recorded and posted and all that shit. Got a lot of links to share around and things to build on all the social medias today. Yikes. I like creating. I don't like plugging. It's probably why this podcast don't do the best. But we got 10 tracks, 7 songs, 3 little interludes. Some of the best song work, in my opinion, I have ever done. And I'm going to be working tirelessly over the next couple months promoting the shit out of this, because I actually have events to promote this. I'm playing a lot of shows this fall for the first time. I normally take like middle of October all the way to like February off from shows, because I know everything in my life happens around that time of the year. And, you know, I have shit to promote now. My last album didn't come out while I was playing shows, so it didn't fucking mean anything. Now I'm playing shows, and boy howdy am I fucking playing shows. I got like 3 shows in November, a show in December, possibly 2 shows in January, and maybe a show in February. So I got things to plug. And to celebrate my birthday and the album dropping tonight, me and some friends and whoever I happen to meet at the bar are going out for drinks, for music, for karaoke, and for some good times. It's been a long time since I just fucking hang out with the fam, hang out with the filthy crew. That's what we call my close group of friends. I used to run a clothing company with them and a podcast with them called Just Plain Filthy. And everybody that was involved is still very much friends together, talk every single day. And we don't get to hang out too much often. So we got pretty much the whole crew coming together and some other friends for karaoke and drinks. And I couldn't have a better celebration for my birthday and album than that right there. But enough about my week. Let's talk about my week. Because I did watch that Witchboard movie and I thoroughly enjoyed it. While the rating was 2.4 on Letterboxd, I was appalled. I gave it fucking 4 stars. In the original Witchboard movie from 1986, I think that's like 39 years ago, I remember saying the acting was something left to be desired. It was almost like they were reading off of cue cards, or some of these actors might have never worked before, because some of these things were just like way too over embellished. None of it seemed like real dialogue. A lot of stuff was like very snappy. A lot of people were yelling when they didn't need to yell. I remember just being very thrown off with the acting, but loving the kills and loving the premise and idea of the movie. On the flip side though, the 2024 remake for Witchboard that just came out on streaming, I'm looking at the practical effects and CGI that was used, and I like the kills. I hate the editing and how fake a lot of this uses. There's like cat attacks where you can tell the cat is CGI'd in. There is people falling, and you can tell it's just like either computer generated or green screen, and it wasn't the best. And there's shit like apparitions in the woods, and it just seems very out of place, like it was like cut out using the lasso tool on your photo editor and thrown into the picture. Was not a fan. But the acting, the story, and the pacing of the remake far surpasses the original Witchboard. Sorry to any of my horror lovers in here that are listening to me say this and going, "You are talking out of your ass. What are you saying?" I've heard so many people say that in the remake, it's nearly impossible to care for any of the characters in this movie or like any of the characters in this movie. But Jamie Campbell Bower's character is like so fucking charismatic, and he does so good and embodies his character perfectly. You can't help but be sucked in and just wonder what he does next and be enamored with his portrayal. And the guy who plays Christian is not a bad guy. They focus on his story. He's trying to build a restaurant from the ground up, from farm to table. Creole food. He's got a passion for that shit. He can cook. He's running the business. He also has a relationship with someone he's trying to protect because she has an addictive personality and has had drug problems in the past, and he's trying to help her get a better life. Across the board, this guy is great. He doesn't do anything bad to make you hate him in this movie. There is a flashback scene where it shows things in his past. They're not saying whether that was before or currently with his fiancée, but everything that you are shown about Christian, he's a good guy, he does good things, he's passionate, he's trying to build something for himself. So I personally, because I have a heart, saw bad things happening to Christian and went, "Oh man, what the fuck? He's such a good guy. What will happen with her if he dies? Well, R.I.P. his hopes and dreams about opening up this restaurant, and all just before the opening day. God damn it." Also, I think it was a great decision to base this around a kitchen and a restaurant, because that premise alone gave me some of my favorite kills that I have seen this year. I mean, not exactly a kill, but it ended up being a death, and then just a horrific moment stemming from just an awesome little change to things. I don't want to give too much away, but let's just say, in all of these things that I am talking about involving the kitchen, they are all very integral, very unfortunately timed, and very bloody. Now, I will say, I do recommend it if you can walk into it with an open mind and not directly compare it to the old one. But if you are one of those people who just walk into this already thinking it's going to be bad, wait for it to come out for free on streaming. Because currently, it's only available on Prime and Apple TV, and it's like $6. I paid the $6 because I was very interested, because it looked good to me, and I enjoyed the first one. I liked the casting of the new one, so I bit the bullet and I enjoyed it. But if you are very apprehensive and you already feel like, hey, I don't trust the reviews, I don't usually like remakes, I don't want to pay the money. Fair. Completely fair. Keep an eye out on your streaming platforms for when this comes out. I believe in the next couple months. It'll probably be on Tubi or HBO or something. It seems like something that could go over there. And the moment you see it, watch it. Because I don't want to make you pay money for it and then have you regret it. But I definitely want you to check that out. Witchboard 2024 surpassed my expectations on what it would be, and I'm happy I watched it. Fuck the haters. Sorry to bore you. Talking about movies without giving any spoilers is fucking hard.
1 hour later.
But I'm sure you know what time it is now. Sorry, I had to stop for some breakfast, dude. My stomach was growling and I was like, this is certainly gonna make it on the audio. And then what'll happen? It'll be awkward as fuck. But it's time for the question of the week. That question being, what is the most stacked lineup you have ever seen on a single day show? I know multiple people are going to say some festivals, and that's cool, but you ain't combining fucking days. We talking single day lineups. And we got some doozies out there. I went through some of these and I was like, what the fuck? Where was I for that? A couple of them being like, I was like 9 years old, so I wasn't at these shows, but like, fuck am I? Just like every topic that I do every week, I'm gonna give some of the listener and supporter answers, go through a couple of those, and then I'm gonna give mine at the very end. Funny story with that one. But let's get right into it. On TikTok, some no-name guy, TikToker17726, great name, bud, said Anthrax, Black Label Society, and Hatebreed. See, I don't know when this is, but that sounds pretty fucking cool. Sounds like something that'd be like late 90s, early 2000s. So for the time, that's like one of the best lineups you can fucking get. Your favorite band sucks on TikTok says the 01 Ozfest. Well, I pulled up the list for that, and goddamn. On the main stage, we got Black Sabbath, Marilyn Manson, Slipknot, Papa Roach, Linkin Park, Disturbed, fucking Crazy Town. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. And Black Label Society, which is crazy. But on the second stage, that's my shit. You got Mudvayne, The Union Underground, Taproot, Systematic, it was their last show, Nonpoint, Drowning Pool, Spineshank, Hatebreed, and American Head Charge. See, personally, stage 2, that's my shit. But that's crazy to all be on one single day. That was the thing with Ozfest, though. Ozfest, like, they knew their crowd and they booked the shit out of it. And on Threads, Chris Wilson 1990 says, I went to a pretty good one about 10 years ago. Silosis, Children of Bodom, Lamb of God, and Megadeth. I know that's incredible. I'm not the biggest fan of that style of metal, but like, goddamn, that is a fucking score. Stacked lineup epitomized. I don't know what Crazy Fest is, but Crazy Fest 2001 Day 2 says being explanatory. Boys Set Fire, Dillinger Escape Plan, Botch, Converge, Poison the Well, Stretch Armstrong, Bane, American Nightmare, Ensign, The Hope Conspiracy, and Burnt by the Sun. God damn it. I'm a fan of like 4 of those fucking bands. And I know how important and crazy the other ones are. So that's just insane. I don't know anything about Crazy Fest. This one's probably the one on Threads that I'm the most jealous of. In 1994, pre-album release Korn, opening for House of Pain and Biohazard. God damn, dude, that's like perfection for 1994 right there. Which leads me to like this show that I saw that's like a tour that's going all around the US. I think even going to like UK or something. So I don't know if you know this, and I also don't know if you're listening. I don't think you are, nobody does. But Biohazard album release with Onyx, Bayway, and Swollen Teeth. It's coming all over the place. Unfortunately can't make it to the one that's up in my neck of the woods because I work retail, and that is not my scheduled day off. I get every Friday off, hence why this comes out on Friday. And yeah, I can't make it. But I can picture it now in Boston. Whole bunch of camo shorts, black hoodies, and Celtics hats. Just a fucking sea of them. Goddamn. And now it's time for me to tell you the story about the most stacked lineup I've ever seen live that I didn't even have to pay for because I set out hang flyers up all around the state, and then the flyers came 2 days after the event happened. The tale of Summer Breakdown. Summer Breakdown was a metal and hardcore and whatever core subgenre festival that happened very, very short-lived. It was like 2 or 3 years. There was only 2 or 3 of them happened in Manchester, New Hampshire. I went to the first one, and goddamn, what a lineup. Summer Breakdown 2010, July 12th at the JFK Coliseum. Ballast, Say Your Last Words, Structure Fails, Twisted Legacy, Constructs, and Mummified in Circuitry as the openers. That's like the who's who of local New England metalcore, deathcore, hardcore shit. And then we go to the headliners. Armor for the Broken, Of Mice and Men, fronted by Sky Eats Airplane's Jerry Roosh. Austin Carlisle was sick during this time. Vanna, Immure, Suicide Silence, and Whitechapel. Now, a couple things to note during this event. During Whitechapel, there were pits that were the entirety of the floor. And during Suicide Silence, the last band, some guy got trampled in a circle pit and broke his back. Mitch Lucker made the executive decision to call off the set, pause it, wait for the ambulance to get there and take the guy away, and then they finished up their set. It went on incredibly late, and I had to find a way home. I didn't have a ride home all set and ready to go. But besides all of that chaos, there was a lot of great bands, a lot of support, a lot of really cool merch. There was a shirt that says "Jesus is a cunt," and I was like, well, okay then, I agree, but I've never seen that put on a shirt. Dang, okay, bro, go off, fam. When Vanna played, it was the biggest explosion into a mosh pit I have ever seen in my life. They had the intro going, and then it was like the earth shake, and everybody and their fucking mother was moving. I was like, okay, time to head for the bleachers right now, because I have a camera on me, and I have a fucking pocket full of money and some questionable shit in my backpack. I ain't getting knocked out and ruining my fucking life right now. So I head for the bleachers, and I watched it all from afar, and it was incredible set. And then the beers hit in, and I fell asleep on the floor next to the bleachers, and apparently missed the entirety of Immure. But I later got to see Immure, like, years down the line. So, you know, I finally got to see him, checked off my list before they went crazy and said a bunch of dumb shit. But the fact that I slept on the floor during Immure, did not get kicked, did not get robbed and mugged, nothing. I woke up and I was like, oh shit. And they're like, you missed Immure. And I said, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know they were next. And then the part that stuck with me more than anything is when Of Mice and Men played. At the time, Austin Carlisle was sick, he was not doing tours, wasn't doing shit. So they had Jerry Roosh from Sky Eats Airplane filling in all tour. That included Summer Breakdown. At this point in my life, I was obsessed with Sky Eats Airplane. I had like 10 of their shirts. I was listening to them almost daily. It was a thing. And during the set, I made it as close to the stage as I could. To which Jerry Roosh ripped off his shirt, and in by panic, I was like, oh dear, fanning myself. And he threw the shirt, and guess who caught that shirt? Me. The cooler thing with all this happenstance is, I was the same shirt size as Jerry Roosh, so after I, had it, I, just put it on for the rest of the night and was walking around. And I had that shirt for another 2 years, 3 years, until I got fat and it could no longer fit in it. And then forgot that it was actually his and probably donated it. I donated a lot of clothes around that time when I started moving in with my wife and shit. But yeah, that was just fucking wild. Summer Breakdown 2010 was a fucking vibe. I almost was able to go to the next year's summer breakdown, but unfortunately I had to work a show the same day and nobody fucking came to that show, so I was really mad that I missed a whole bunch of bands that I like. Bands like Anderson Lane, Ballast, Conforza, From the Depths, Lions, Malevolence, I See Stars, Our Last Night, Spies Like Us, fucking Texas in July, Twisted Legacy played again, Vanna played again, I See Stars. Did I say I See Stars? Pretty sure I said I See Stars. There was a whole bunch of people. I even think last minute Tony Danza Tap Dance Extravaganza hopped on, or they were supposed to and they dropped off last minute. But either way, I remember seeing the lineup and going, fuck my life. All because I was working with a venue and they were like, oh, you guys are doing summer breakdown? We're gonna do summer breakup, and it's gonna be a bunch of sad boy Christian metalcore bands that no one's heard of. And we're gonna have fucking 16 people in attendance. I was livid. But since we're on the topic of heavy music, let's fucking do it. Now, once again, for people who might not know, I will not sugarcoat these things. These are heavy releases that I actually listened to. Some of them might be good. Some of them might be bad. I will give you my unfiltered opinions. I ain't sucking any dicks. I ain't burying anybody on purpose. These are just my opinions. And I don't think everything needs to be all hunky-dory, thumbs up 100% of the time. People need to know what is out there in the vibes that they bring. And that's why I'm here. Falcon is the newest track off the upcoming album by Rise of the North Star. There's still about a month left before the album drops, and 4 songs have been released. This is the worst of all 4 of them, and possibly the worst song that they have put out in about a decade. I wanted so much more, and I was excited. It was banger after banger after banger, and then they dropped this. And now I'm afraid that there's more songs like this on that upcoming album, and now I'm no longer as excited as I was. Sometimes they sound like a mediocre hardcore band in this. Other times it sounds like Enter Shikari, if you take away all the catchiness that they have. But 100% of the time, it sounds like something I did not enjoy. I would not recommend it until the actual album comes out. Maybe it's better in context. I don't know where it falls. I don't know what the other songs sound like. So maybe it does it justice. Maybe it's a good bridging point between what is heavy at one point, which gets softer at another point. I'm trying to give it the benefit of the doubt, but I will not give it a thumbs up. That was like a D. Do you want Kublai Khan with a slight grindcore edge and none of that red hat bullshit? Well, let me tell you about the band Squelching from Oklahoma, because they just dropped Eating Teeth, and this song fucking got my neck hurting like a motherfucker. They got blast beats, they got gutturals, but the vocals sound like Matt Honeycutt, and the fucking guitars are doing caveman riffs, just simplified fight shit. I love it. I went back into their older stuff back in like 2023. Nothing but headbangers and fucking fight riffs. I've never heard of this band up until last week. And then they dropped this a couple days ago. And I might have my new favorite band out of Oklahoma. Sorry, Peeling Flesh. Y'all go hard as fuck, but this is my jam. Eating Teeth is just shy of 3 minutes, which, in my opinion, is the perfect length for a metal song. It's not overstaying its welcome, yet you get very much satiated by what you heard. On the flip side of hardcore, I like that shit just about 2 minutes. So, in both realms, this is perfectly timed, perfectly heavy, perfectly grimy, grindy, filthy shit. I highly recommend. I give it like an A-. Drop Dead Gorgeous just dropped a new single called Burn, and I'm loving everything that they are putting out since they came back. It all sounds like throwbacks, all sounds like back in their heyday, which I was obsessed with. Just hearing all that yet again, deep in my 30s, I'm fucking heavy with it. It's melody, singing, breakdowns, all that stuff, sassy emo stuff, chugging guitars, screeching vocals, all that stuff, just done so well and blended so perfectly. I cannot argue with that. Most of the time, I get those whiny emo vocals with things with breakdowns, and I'm like, no, fam. I can't do that. I need those things to be separate. I need my emo to be emo and my breakdowns to have breakdowns. Very, very rarely does it work as well as this. If you like Icy Stars and Sleeping with Sirens, but you also like getting kicked in the fucking teeth and listening to big boy music, well, this new track, Burn, by Drop Dead Gorgeous, should be right up your alley. I give it like a B plus and A minus. It's nothing insane, but like, it's good. And lastly, the band Filth from North Carolina teamed up with Nathan James to do a cover of something that really did not need to get covered. Bodies by Drowning Pool. I don't know why there's so much attention to this song currently. Fucking Jid and Offset just did a remix to it, which was incredible. Song hasn't been relevant outside of cringe culture for almost a decade, and now it's being remade. I could say I love Filth. I think Nathan James is a very middle-of-the-road artist with some of the cringiest neckbeard Joker-esque aesthetics ever. So I saw them team up and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna care for this. And then I listened to it and I was right. It's not badly done, but it's just so bland and generic of a metal cover to this song that it's exactly what I thought it was going to be, and I'm kind of pissed about it. I'm not going to say it's terrible. It's just definitely not something I wanted or needed in my life. I'm going to give it a C minus. It is good for what it is, but for what it is not for me. And as far as the podcast goes, that is everything that I have to talk about, except for one thing. If you've seen on my social medias, you've seen me promoting it like crazy. Today is the day that my third album has dropped. This has been teasing on this podcast for almost 3 years now, but today is the day. Systems 3 is available on Spotify, on YouTube, on Apple Music. It might be available on Tidal. I don't know how to navigate that app yet, so I don't know. I haven't had a link yet. It features 3 interludes, 7 songs, 6 of which are angry as shit. One of them is just silly garbage. Please go out, stream my fucking album on any streaming platform that you utilize, and please, 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 have a great day.